It's 9:53 on the 10th of January 2024, and I'm still uploading for the interest of the United Nations with regard to the disinformation and defamation issues that are surrounding matters of my humanitarian endeavours and initiatives that have been of disease prevention and crime prevention, and that are subject to refutation. There are people refuting the facts, and they are working with disinformation, and they're continuing with issues that have surrounded the matter of corruption in society. So for the past 20 years I've been experiencing corrupt conduct, and to this day in 2024, a new year, a new beginning, there are still unfortunately individuals working with falsehoods and fallacies and fairy tales. So I've been contacting the Ombudsman in Ireland here since February 2017, and I'm still awaiting for them to address, resolve and repair all the damages that are still unresolved. There are people that are dodging, ducking and diving and not taking responsibility for their duties, and therefore demoting themselves in the hierarchy of position, place and obligations. They haven't fulfilled obligations. So the ombudsmen that are in Ireland have heard with regard to the wrongdoings that have been committed against my son, and all the subsequent wrongdoings that arose from all of those situations. Those people that are falsifying church records and claiming that I'm a divorced mother, which is highly incorrect, highly untrue, are working with very dangerous forgery. So this is in the interest of the United Nations. Islam, Catholicism, Christianity and Hinduism have all been offended in this debacle, in this small community where there has been poor social influencing and really poor script writing for a story that isn't true. So those that aren't working with the facts and that aren't working with the truth, I have concerns for justice. Justice has been corroded, justice has been mishandled, and those that are aware that legislation has arisen from me as a recovery advocate with Narcotics Anonymous and with the Victim Support Federation, helping victims, women and children that have been suffering as a consequence of wrongdoings for the past 20 years, as an educator, as a recovery advocate. Those people that are taking credit and not paying their debts, I have huge concerns for the monetary wealth and abundance that has arisen from my advocacy that is subject to fraud. So I have a documentary, it's called Sad Sign of the Times. It handles all the wrongdoings that I've experienced, and it's handled all the exploitation from all areas of society, aspects of society that have benefited with social reform. There are still people that are being corrupt and of debt evasion and that are disrespecting the Roman Catholic Church. So unfortunately, it's still pertinent a title, Sad Sign of the Times, when those that are expecting to be qualified for the upright stance and position in society are still doing things wrong and not consulting where they have obligations to consult with regard to information that only I could give leeway or right of way to use any of the details that have been used in the circumstances arising from social change that have arisen from wrongdoings I've experienced. So those that are disrespecting my bloodlines, my ancestors, I have concerns for their integrity and their dignity and their level of honourability towards people's family names. So this is in the interests of the United Nations, the European Parliament. There's very serious wrongdoing being conducted in the southwest of Ireland by individuals that are living off my professional portfolio. As I've mentioned, I've worked for 3 state departments, and this country has caused impoverishment and financial abuse against me, while people, debtors, are living on my farm holdings in Ardfert and Kilflynn, and any forgery or fraud that is associated with my nuptials of the 30th of the 3rd 2015, I'm bringing to the attention of the Department of Justice. So I'm experiencing a high level of crime, I'm experiencing defamation, disinformation, and there is disrespect to all facets similarly and accordingly to the pillars of society, of democratic society that we all hope to cherish and thrive into the future for the safety of our children. So those with an obligation to put right what has been done wrong, I would appreciate you contacting me on the number provided, and anyone working with any disinformation regarding my holy matrimony and the issue of unlawful care orders, or any of the wrongdoings that have been done against my health or my right to freedom, or any of the issues of defamation. I have accordingly reported all these matters since February 2017, and I'm still awaiting these matters to be redressed and repaired. And those that have benefited from the work that I have pursued as a humanitarian, I hope they are aware that it has been done with good intentions, a clean heart and an honest mind, and that those that are enjoying humanitarian outcomes that have prospered and saved society in certain respects, I hope we don't regress back to the corrupt conduct that caused these problems in the first place. So that's just an update for today. I'm awaiting the Ombudsman to resolve and repair those that have a difficulty confronting the reality. I have concerns for their position and their holding in any place of society where they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing properly, and that's not from an impetuous, cheeky perspective. I'm a qualified professional and I have served this state. So Great Britain, Ireland, the movement of travel, all of those matters, that has arisen from my humanitarianism, and I have the injuries to prove the consequence of my best intentions for everyone to have the joy of movement in and around the British Isles. So those that are still interrupting with the honest intentions of the Declaration of Human Rights, I would bid you be careful with what has already recently happened in recent times with dissension and the issue of disharmony in society, simply due to misunderstandings of faith, misunderstandings of information, misunderstandings of interpretation, and misunderstandings of all that has happened around COVID-19 and Brexit, with spitting offences, intoxicating our society, dirtying our society, health and hygiene being offended, mental health being offended, and people not doing the honourable thing. So this is directly for the interests of the United Nations. I'm a humanitarian for over 20 years and I'm still experiencing very sinister wrongdoings, and the state of Ireland has been aware that I'm experiencing financial abuse and that there is corruption with regard to my nuptials and my farm holdings and my son illegally from my care. So the politicians that are working off the legislation that arose from the wrongdoings, being the social reform and the changes in society, the corruption that has been cleaned up, I'd appreciate if you'd use the number I've provided, my personal contact, with regard to any questions or answers regarding what has happened and what is obligatory to be happening. There are obligations to a person in my position as a recovery advocate and as a royal mother and as a property holder, and those people that are suffering from delusion or disillusionment with regard to my position, stance, or any of my my entitlements, those people that are offending